I don't know who needs to hear this, but contrary to popular opinion, fire your therapist if they keep getting you to talk about the past because it doesn't matter. Stop telling the story. Stop telling the story of your trauma. Stop telling the story of your trauma. The story doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not to say it didn't happen to you. It's not to downplay what happened to you. But it is to say that unless you can explain your story without the emotional charge, you are constantly reinfecting yourself with the memories of the past, which you get to keep, whatever that emotional reaction is right now in this moment. Stop telling the story of your past. Let's talk about it. So many people go to therapy for years and years and years and wonder why they're not able to get unstuck from certain emotional trauma. And I'm willing to bet that it's 9 times out of 10 because you keep telling the damn story. Stop telling the story. Dr. Joe Dispenza says, when you can explain something without the emotional charge, it's called wisdom. But most people, they are still stuck in the past because whatever it was that happened to them, they're still mad at the person that caused it, or they're still mad about the circumstance, or they still just have some emotional triggers that are rooted in that experience. And so if you continue to tell the story of your past, like Neville Goddard says, it's like reinfecting yourself with a disease. And so many people walk around with stuck energy in their bodies because emotions are energy in motion. But if you have trauma and triggers around certain experiences that happen to you, 9 times out of 10, that energy is stuck somewhere in your body. And only you know that, okay? That's why people who come into the framework or the model that Dr. Joe Dispenza has created through many of his books, Becoming Supernatural, You Are the Placebo, and Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, he wrote those books to bring to our awareness that many of us are living the emotions of our past. 70% of the thoughts we think every single day are recycled thoughts. And so we're constantly replaying certain things that keep us in a particular pattern that makes up our personality, a pattern of thinking, and a pattern of emotionally relating to the people and circumstances in our lives. And if we stay in this pattern, we stay in this particular personality. Now, the problem that comes up is when your personality has created a certain life for yourself, and it's also created a pattern in your body, and many times that pattern can lead to disease and you don't know it. But if you are constantly reliving the story of your past, holding on to that story for dear life, listen, let it go. It doesn't matter. It's not who you are. It does not have to define you. It does not have to continue to define you. Regardless of what you've gone through, you get to decide every single day, moment to moment, who you want to be, right? And if you want to continue to be that person who was victimized, you want to continue to be that person who was hurt, who was done wrong, who, woe is me, the world is awful, these people are awful, that person is awful. If you want to continue to be that person, then keep telling the story. But if you don't, if you want to be free from that identity, you got to stop telling that story. Fuck the story. Okay? The story doesn't matter. What matters is that you stop the emotional reaction. Stop the pattern of the emotion that might be stuck in your body that might be causing you to have a mind and a body that's not at ease, aka a dis-ease. Stop the pattern. And you can stop the pattern when you stop telling the story. Tell a new story. Tell a new story of who you want to be. Tell a new story of who you know you truly are without that issue. If that issue never happened, if that thing never happened, if that circumstance never happened, who would you really be? Tell that story and try your darndest to give yourself a taste of fulfillment. What does that mean? I talk about it in all my other videos. A taste of fulfillment is just, what would it be like? What would it feel like if so and so were true? Your most ideal situation. What would it feel like? What would it be like? How would I show up? Who would I be if it were true? Give your body a taste of what that feels like. Give your body a taste of those emotions. And what you'll find is that your subconscious mind does not know the difference between something that is real and something that is imagined. So if you are living in the past, essentially, you are continuing to reinfect your subconscious and your nervous system with the emotions of the past because it doesn't know that it's not happening. Just you remembering it is making your body believe that it's happening in the present. So imagine if you think of something else that you actually ideally want and give yourself a taste of fulfillment, your body's going to think it's having the experience. And if you train your body, condition your body into living in the version of you who gets to have what you want, into living in the identity of you who is already fulfilled, your body's going to follow. It's going to think, hey, we're satisfied, we're good. That dis-ease, that pattern that you had can no longer live with you. Therefore, it has to flee. This is how people are becoming supernatural. It's not some woo-woo magic stuff. They're literally changing their personalities so that they can change their personal reality. If I no longer am triggered by the things that used to trigger me, then whatever is not at ease in my body in this moment, it has to leave from me because I'm not creating the pattern over and over again. Emotions in the body are chemical reactions. We're learning this, people. If there are chemical reactions, if I change my emotional state, if I change the way I emotionally relate to my life and the people in it, then I'm creating new chemical reactions. And hopefully I'm doing less stressful hormones and chemical reactions and more higher frequency chemical reactions that are beneficial to my body. I don't know who needed to hear this, but if you want to hear more about this subject, comment below. This is your reminder. You got this.